Go.
Starting off with our Chargers starting offense. At QB, we have Justin Herbert with a backup of Trey Lance. At running back, we have Omarion Hampton, Najee Harris, and Hassan Haskins. At fullback, we have Scott Matlock. At wide receiver, we have Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and Darius Davis. At tight end, we have Will Dissly, Tyler Conklin, Oronde Gadsden, and Tucker Fisk. At center, we have Bradley Bozeman and Andre James. At left guard, we have Zion Johnson. At right guard, we have Mekhi Becton, Jamari Sawyer. At left tackle, we have Joe Austin DeCulis and Rashawn Slater, but he's on IR, so he will not be playing. And on right tackle, we have Trey Pipkins and Savion Washington, but he is out too.
Go. At quarterback for the Chiefs, we have Patrick Mahomes, backed up by Gardner Minshew. At running back, we have Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell, and Rashard Smith. At wide receiver, we have Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jalen Royals, Tyquan Thornton, Jason Brownlee, Nico Remigio, and Rashee Rice, but he will not be playing right now because he is suspended. At tight end, we have Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, Robert Tonyan, Jared Wiley. At left tackle, we have Josh Simmons and Wanya Morris. Left guard is Kingsley Suatamaya and Mike Caliendo. Center, we have Creed Humphrey and Hunter Norzad. Right guard, we have Trey Smith and Ethan Driscoll. And right tackle, we have Jawan Taylor and Jalen Moore.
Go. And now the Chargers defense. At left defensive end, we have Deshaun Hand, Scott Matlock, and Justin DeBoydby. At nose tackle, we have Tier Tart and Jamari Caldwell. At right defensive end, we have Tito Obonya, Naquan Jones, and Josh Fuga. Josh Fuga is on IR, so he will not be playing. At weak side linebacker, we have Tuli Tuipulotu, Kyle Kennard, and Caleb Murphy. At left interior linebacker, we have Dayon Henley, Troy Dye, and Marlo Wax. At right interior linebacker, we have Denzel Perryman, Delshawn Phillips, and Junior Colson, but he is also on IR. On strong side linebacker, we have Khalil Mack and Bud Dupree. At left cornerback, we have Dante Jackson, Nico Reed, Dean Leonard, who's on IR, and Jordan Oladukin, who is on IR. At strong safety, we have Derwin James Jr. and RJ Mickens. At free safety, we have Alohi Gilman, Elijah Molden, and Kendall Williamson. Finally, our right cornerbacks, we have Cam Hart, Benjamin St. Just, Eric Rogers, who's on IR, and then nickelback, Tarheeb Still, and Jasir Taylor.
And for the Chiefs defense, at left defensive end, we have George Kalaftis, Charles Emenihu, Malik Herring, BJ Thompson. For left defensive tackle, we have Chris Jones and Jerry Tillery. Right defensive tackle, we have Omar Norman Lott and Derek Nanati. At right defensive end, we have Mike Donna, Ashton Gillette, and Felix Ananduke Uzuma. At our weak side linebacker positions, we have Drew Tranquil and Jeffrey Bassa. Middle linebacker is Nick Bolton, Jack Cochrane, and Brandon George. The strong side linebackers are Leo Chanel, Cooper McDonald. Left cornerback is the man, the myth, the legend, Trent McDuffie, backed up by Najee Johnson, who's on IR, and Eric Scott Jr., who is also on IR, so he's going to have to clutch up, do all the work himself. At strong safety, we have Kamari Connor and Deion Bush. At free safety, we have Brian Cooks and Jaden Hicks. At right cornerback, we have Christian Fulton, Noble Williams, and Joshua Williams. And finally, our nickelback is Jalen Watson.
Go. And now with special teams. The place kicker for the Chargers is Cameron Dicker. The punter is J.K. Scott, who is also the holder. Our punt returners are Darius Davis, Ladd McConkey, and Keandre Lambert-Smith. Our kick returners are Darius Davis, Hassan Haskins, and Keandre Lambert-Smith. Finally, our long snapper is Josh Harris.
Our place kicker for the Chiefs is Harrison Butker. Our punter is Matt Areza, and he is also our holder. Our punt returners are Nico Remigio and Rashard Smith. Our kick returners are also Nico Remigio and Rashard Smith, and our long snapper is James Winchester.
Go. And now our coaches. For the Chargers, we have head coach Jim Harbaugh, defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, linebacker coach Navarro Bowman, defensive back coach Steve Klingsdale, D-line coach Mike Elston, defensive assistant Mike Heestad, senior analyst Rick Minter, defensive quality control Robert Muskamp, safeties coach Adam Fuller, outside linebackers coach Dylan Roney, assistant D-line coach Will Tukufau, offensive coordinator Greg Roman, run game coordinator and tight end coach Andy Biscoff, pass game coordinator Marcus Brady, offensive quality control and tight ends coach Jeff Carpenter, QB coach Shane Day, O-line coach Mike Devlin, assistant O-line coach Nick Hardwick, who is a former Charger, wide receiver coach Sanjay Lal, running backs coach Keel McDonald, offensive assistant Kirk Campbell and Josh Hammond, special teams coordinator Ryan Ficken, assistant special teams Chris Gold, executive director of player performance Ben Herbert, head strength and conditioning coach Jonathan Brooks and Devin Woodhouse, director of performance analytics Ben Rabe, performance analyst Lincoln DeWolf, and our Alex G. Spanos coaching fellowships Chuka Ndule, Justin Poindexter, Marquise Shakir, and Miles Taylor.
Our head coach of the Chiefs, the beautiful burger lover, Andy Reid. Our assistant head coach is Dave Tsu. Offensive coordinator is Matt Nagy. Our defensive coordinator is Steve Spagnuolo. Our vice president of sports medicine is Rick Beckholder. Our defensive quality control is Louis Adizio. Our pass game coordinator is Joe Blameyer. Our assistant strength coach and conditioning coach is Greg Carbon and Nick Kaseka. Our D-line coach is Joe Cullen. Our linebacker coach is Brendan Daly. Our assistant running back coach is Mark DeLeon. Our assistant special team coach is Porter Ellett. Our wide receiver coach is Connor Embry. Our statistical analysis coordinator is Mike Frazier. Our quarterback coach is David Girardi. Our O-line coach is Andy Heck. Senior defensive assistant is Matt House. Our assistant offensive line coach is Corey Methaier. Our tight end coach is Tom Melvin. Our defensive back coach is Dave Merritt. Another defensive quality control is Chris Orr. Running back is Todd Pinkston. Assistant strength and conditioning coach is Spencer Reed. Our head strength and conditioning coach is Ryan Reynolds, not the actor, Ryan Reynolds. Our assistant quarterback coach is Dan Williams. And finally, our outside linebacker coach is Rod Wilson. Go.
And now we have our practice squad. These guys aren't going to play, but they help our guys get ready for the game. For the Chargers, we have DJ Ugalele, who's a quarterback. We have running backs Amar Johnson, Naeem Miller-Hines, and Kamani Vidal. We have wide receivers Luke Grimm, Jaquay Jackson, and Jalen Rieger. We have tight end Thomas Yasmin, center Josh Kaltenberger, guard Branson Taylor, offensive tackle Foster Serrell and David Sharp, defensive tackle Tara Edwards, linebacker Imani Johnson, Garmin Randolph, cornerback Miles Purchase, safety Tony Jefferson, and long snapper Ricky Lovato.
Now for the Chiefs practice squad. At quarterback, we have Chris Oladokin. At running back, we have Carson Steele. Wide receivers, Jimmy Holiday and Hal Presley. Tight ends, Robert Tanyan and Trey Watson. Defensive tackle, Marlon Tuapolotu. Our cornerbacks are Kevin Knowles and Melvin Smith. Our linebacker is Cole Christensen. Our safety is Mike Edwards. And our guard is CJ Hansen. Go.
And now we have our schemes for the game. So the Charger runs a run-first gap run scheme style offense with a play-action bootleg as the main pass scheme. So what a gap scheme means is we're blocking using leverage rather than power. So as you see demonstrated here, we have our blockers pointing outwards rather than going straight up. So what this is going to do is going to allow the chance for runners to break off and get longer runs, but also if the guys don't get leverage, then they have a chance of getting sacked behind the line. Basically our plan with this is we're going to try and take the defenders out of the play through angles and create a lane rather than move the defense back. And then with the offense and pass scheme, we have the play action bootleg. Since we're a run first team, the Chiefs are going to load the box and they're going to try and attack the run. So with that, we're going to fake the run and we're going to bootleg the passes out. And so now the direction that the running back's going, the defense is going to bite on, and our wide receivers are going to be running the opposite direction. What this is going to do is give a slight bit of separation that's going to make the defenders harder to catch up and hopefully give Herbert enough space and the wide receivers enough time to get a connection.
For the offensive scheme of the Chiefs, they've run mainly pro style, which focuses on progress through multiple reads and motions, includes attack with power running, vertical shots, and quick passes. And we're just trying to create mismatches by making defenses choose stopping the run or the pass. Next up, their most used thing is bunch trips, which makes the defenders switch assignments on the fly. It's great for man-to-man coverage and easy to confuse zone coverages, and helps wide receivers get a clean release to get them downfield and hopefully a long touchdown.
Yep.
And now our defensive scheme for the Chargers. So the Chargers run a 3-4, which means we have 3 downfield linemen and 4 off-ball linebackers. So what this does is we have 4 guys that are a lot quicker than a defensive lineman, but because we only have 3 defensive linemen, we're prone to giving up a lot more run yardage. The whole point of this is to get our defenders more in a pass prevent style defense. And so we also run something called a light box, which is the linebackers are more spread out. So right behind the defensive lineman, there's going to be only 2 linebackers at most, really. What this is bad for is the run. The Chiefs could potentially run all day on them. But defending the pass, this is great because wide receivers are not going to have much separation with that much traffic in their area. This also allows for disguised blitzes because linebackers can easily switch onto covering a corner while corners crash and blitz.
The most commonly used play in the Chiefs defense is the Tampa 2. The Tampa 2 is great for a couple of reasons. It minimizes blown coverages, ensures short routes and quick checkdowns, which can sometimes be bad, but sometimes be really good. And you can disguise it into different coverages to throwing off the offense. The next one they use is dime. Dime is used for third and longs and prevents and 2-minute drills. The 6 DBs make tighter routes for receivers and fewer blown coverages, which means they can't send it downfield in the last 2 minutes of the game and lose. Like many before.
Go.
And now we have the Chargers' keys to win this game. So number 1, they need to limit the penalties. The Chiefs already have the refs on their side, okay? We don't need to give them the reason to flag them more. Herbert needs to show up. He's a great QB, but he's not clutch. We saw it in the Texans game. We saw it in the Jaguars game. Both playoff matchups, he disappears. As well as this, the whole team needs to respond to that playoff game. That was a bad beatdown. They got killed. They cannot let that overcast this season or else they're going to be wondering what the hell happened. For offense, we need to let Keenan and McConkey wreak havoc. Both of them are excellent route runners. You cannot find 2 guys on one defense to cover both of them at the same time. Keenan had 1,000 yards plus 2 years ago with Herbert, and McConkey had 1,000 yards in his rookie season. They're going to eat. And we also need to run the damn ball, okay? The clock ticks, then Mahomes is going to have less time on the field. He's not going to be able to get into a rhythm for the end of the game when he pulls some shit out of his ass, okay? You keep running the ball. We have Amari and Hampton now. We'll be good. Also, our defense will be fresh because they have more time on the bench and they can further, hopefully, try and slow down Mahomes. Which brings me to my next point. You can't stop Mahomes. You just got to contain him. He does best when he has improv plays, okay? So keep him in the pocket. Let him make his checkdowns. He'll probably get a field goal. But as long as they don't score every single time, you're in good shape. And on defense, you need to unleash Derwin. He's a true difference maker covering wide receiver and tight ends who can also make plays in the backfield, okay? Derwin might be the best safety in the league, so let him be the best safety in the league. And finally, don't let the Chiefs scare you. They're not gods. I mean, they've had good luck. They've had good teams in the past, but they're mortals just like the rest of us, okay? If you let them up on this level like they're gods, then you're going to struggle because you're going to think, oh, we can't stop them. You can stop them. Just play like it.
So the Chiefs' keys to win. I say we build this offense around Mahomes. He is a top quarterback if he is given enough pocket time and manipulating defenses with his arms and angles. Keep Mahomes protected. If we build a strong O-line and let him run and manipulate plays, we will better be able to increase our offensive prowess. We should encourage rollouts, bootlegs, and sprint outs. We should use Kelsey, good Lord, Luke, I know you're going to make fun of me for that. We should use Kelsey more in third downs and the red zone area to try and keep him fresh because he's getting old. He just married Taylor Swift. He's got to keep it good. He's got to keep a good looking face for her. Try to make Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Rashee Rice core parts of the receiving core. Let Rice work the short, immediate middle like Kelsey used to be able to, but now Kelsey's an unk. Still a really good player. I think top 3 tight end of all time, maybe. Let Worthy and Brown work the horizontals. We should run the ball when it matters. 3rd and 4th downs. Short yardage gains are what make football football. If Pacheco can stay healthy, he will be a valuable player to the team. Use Kelsey as a distraction to open up Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. Use more gap scheme run plays, pulling counters with Pacheco, opening up the field. And give Mahomes more play calling, availability. Let him motion and audible more. If that doesn't work, he always has his legs.
And now our score predictions for the game. I have the Chargers winning 31-27.
And I have the Chiefs absolutely blowing out the Chargers 31-14.